That's the way to do it right there.
That is the start of a new year.
Fuck yeah. And dude, we have a lot coming in for the new year. I am so excited for what 2025 is going to bring. Everybody online seems to be ready to go. Everybody's hyped.
Hell
We're
yeah,
hyped.
man.
Yeah.
2025 is going to
Energy.
fucking rock. It's going to be the
Damn
best.
straight.
Got
2024
so much
fucked
going on.
over a lot of things, but we got one thing right. And I'll tell you what, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think we're going to have a great
Everybody
next
agrees.
4 years.
At least that's what I've been told by most of the country.
Let's see what's going on with the chat right now, everybody.
We got Elliot Rodriguez in the chat. What's up, man?
What's up,
What's
man?
going on?
By the way, hey, Darren, that Ninja Turtle piece, bro, it blew my socks
Phenomenal.
off. That thing was badass. You know what? I'm
Dude.
gonna find it and pull it up real quick because
Yeah, I'll share it, no problem. Yes. When I
Elliot
saw it,
Rodriguez
I was
is
like, oh
in
my
here.
God.
He's a freaking awesome artist.
He had Metalhead in there. He had Fugitoid.
I know. I was like going through the
Dude.
whole thing, going like, oh, who's all in here? And we got Krang, we got like everybody.
It
Hold
was
on, I'm
fucking
gonna pull
awesome.
it up.
I absolutely loved it. But yeah, we got Darren came in. D-Weg came in at like 8:21.
What's up, Darren?
Day.
What's up, Darren?
Elliot's
Zayd
here.
Raid.
There he is.
There it is.
D-Weg.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Elliot Rodriguez. All right, let me pull up that.
Hell,
I'll
brother.
pull up the black and
Wow,
white
baby.
one first, and then I'll pull up the color one because you gotta appreciate the blacks and whites. You know
Of
what I'm saying?
course.
Where's it at? Where's it? Yeah, it's way down here. You post a lot, bro.
Yes, he does.
Oh, I see.
God,
some
why do you have to be so
Brother Kid on it.
proficient?
I know, right?
Darren, my boy.
Oh, now I'm getting lost. What is this? That's some cool inking. Okay,
He's
hold on,
all
keep going.
he's getting totally sidetracked on all the other stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
I'm like looking at all this other stuff here.
Stan's number one groupie is hyping him up today.
That's going to be my thing on my tagline, whatever thing is going to be like D-Wag's boys.
How did
Oh,
everybody's
okay.
ending to the 2024 take place? Was it good? Was it bad? Are you glad it's over?
Ended it great.
You know what? I think 2024 was all right. I mean, it wasn't the best, but
Sure.
that's when I started really streaming and hitting it hard. And I've been having a blast, man.
Right.
There's been, it's not the best year, but it's making 2025 that much sweeter. 2025 is going to be even better.
I'll drink
Oh,
to
yeah.
that.
Out there in reality, you got your difficulties and everything, but once we get in this realm right here, between these four walls, everything just like passes off to the side, and we actually get to, have a little bit of fun. And bro, I think after almost 23 episodes just on this channel alone, not including Peter's, I think we're starting to get all the kinks worked out, and I think we're going to blow people out of the fucking water.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while, like trying to really figure out how to make it fun, how to make it exciting, how to get people into comic books and bring back crowds, bring back that fun that we used to have back in the day.
Damn
I
straight.
mean, I've been around since pretty much when, oh my God, dude, 2020, since like the COVID days, since right before COVID. And
Yeah,
everybody was
2020.
on the internet, and it's been a rough 4 years. And I'm happy, dude. I'm happy that we're finally, like, that it's led to this.
Damn
2025, Trump's back. We're going to kick ass. Everyone's going to get back into comics, and we're going to have a fun. We're going to blast doing it.
When we have General Piggy in the audience along with D-Wag, we're becoming somebody.
Hey, General Piggy, he's
Oh,
another
man.
badass, man. He's got a lot of sketch cards that I did. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that, because he really helped me out. And those are really cool cards, by the way. They were like neon cool cards.
Dude,
I try to
you
give him,
you
his
bust out a
money's
lot
worth.
of trading cards for a lot of people. I can't even name them all, but you've done quite a few in this little indie circuit.
I've got some more fun ones that I did recently, but honestly, I have no idea where they are. Are these them?
Are these they?
They?
No.
Where did I fucking put him? I don't even know where I put him.
I don't even.
like,
That's a quote from something. I don't know like why. I only said that because it like somebody said it and it stood out to me. I'm not actually trying to correct you.
all right, I got it. I've got it pulled up right here. Hold on.
All right. Elliot says he personally had a great 2024. I'm ready to do it again.
Double
hell
down.
yeah, right?
D-Wack says he's going to be kicking names and taking ass this year. Only way to do it. Get that KY ready. It's going to be a good one. Hail General Piggy, of course.
Present, man. Share screen. I don't know. I'm a boomer here, but
Let's
Elliot tweets a lot. Jeez, man.
Hey, man, he's excited. He's happy to be here, and we're happy to have him with us, man.
All right, there it is. I pulled up both. That's why it took me a minute. I pulled the colored and I pulled up. Well, I pulled up a color version. I'm not sure who colored this one.
So I see a.
This is the black and white.
Right,
this is the original black and white.
Okay, so I'm getting ready to add this to the stage. We're going to blow it up into the singular screen. So hang on. This is from Elliot Rodriguez. If you haven't checked it out yet, but this is his TMNT homage from last year. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, dude. Look at this. Look at this piece, man. I want to like zoom in.
Oh yeah.
But like the whole piece all together is just.
I see Casey Jones.
Dude, they're all there. I saw Slash, and he's my favorite, so I was like, "Fuck yeah, Slash is in there."
And it's
Slash over Casey Jones.
No, yes, Slash is way better than Casey Jones. Fuck yeah.
No, you're an idiot.
Yeah, no, you're an idiot.
Actually,
look at this.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're not sharing full screen. I got my fucking Slash right here with me at all times. Okay, share it. Okay, I got Slash with me at all times, bro. I love Slash. He's my favorite. All right, now you can get back to the to Elliot's badass artwork.
They actually made him a respectable character in the 2012 show. Here we go. Let's get back to it.
Right here. Look at that. Look at that Slash.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The Mousers.
Yeah, dude. That arcade thing. The guy from the arcade.
Yeah, his name's Fugitoid.
That's not Fugitoid.
That's Fugitoid.
That is not Fugitoid. That's from the arcade game. That's those bad guys that would like.
Oh, that's that little spinner
pop out.
thing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That little Cyclops R2D2 wannabe.
Yeah, well, they came out and they electrify you. That's all I know. That they annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah,
I died at that level a lot.
Those little, I call them the little sons of bitches.
My bad. But yeah,
look at we got Metalhead.
Krang. Bebop and Rocksteady. Got to have some love for Bebop and Rocksteady.
Actually, you did a really good job with Bebop and Rocksteady. Those look really badass. Baxter Stockman. We got the Rat King up in the top right here.
Those are two that are always forgotten for some reason. Like Baxter Stockman keeps going through so many changes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. You know what? That's true too. That's something to talk about because Baxter Stockman was different between the cartoon, arcade, comic book, and then the newer comic or arcade. Whatever. Every version of him is very different, and the new version I think is that even supposed to be Baxter in the new shit? The Fly character, Superfly. That's not supposed to be Baxter, is it?
Elliot. Yeah, that's Baxter. What was your question? Because that's Baxter Stockman back there. They did.
No. I was saying, is the new that Superfly character from the new Ninja Turtle stuff?
No.
Is that supposed to be Baxter?
No, originally they were going to make it Baxter Stockman, but they went a different way and made it a Fly that was in the office of Stockman. So Stockman died in the movie, and then the Fly just became a mutant.
Well, that's retarded. Look at this. Here we got Casey Jones. I see Yasagi Jimbo right here. A bunch of foot soldiers.
Go to the left a little bit.
Who we got over here? I see Raph. Some more. I got April.
Yeah, he's got April throwing down.
Yeah,
that's badass. I didn't catch that.
Just like in the video game, she's holding her microphone and knocking out foot soldiers.
That's a good April O'Neil right there, by the way.
The Rat King
like
in
the way Elliot
2012
draws.
TMNT series is dark stuff, says Journal Piggy. I agree. If you haven't checked out the 2012 CGI computer animated show, I highly recommend it because they delved into the lore a whole lot deeper and it gets a lot darker.
What would they do? What was the lore? I'm not familiar with it.
So, with everything, they stuck more to the IDW comics, even though they made it more kid friendly. You know, like even though April O'Neil was a little child and she didn't have that connection that she did while she was working in the lab with the turtles when they were still, you know, regular. They definitely made it connect where she was like part of their lore somehow within the series. I don't remember exactly how, but they made Donatello have a crush on her just like he did in the comics. And, you know, the whole thing with Karai was great. I love Shredder's
I like
Karai. She's an excellent character. They did her right. And I absolutely love the 2012 series. It's great.
Let's see here. This is the black and white version. Now, I'm not sure who colored this one. Hold on. I know, because I want to say that I saw two different versions. And this is who did this?
Donatello down front and center down there knocking out the foot. Donatello's my boy.
The nerd.
Hey, I'll take it because guess what? Peter Laird, Donatello is also his favorite turtle, so that says a lot about Donnie.
Raphael's the best turtle. Everybody knows that.
That's what you
Well,
want to think.
there's a reason Leonardo's the leader.
No, Raphael was the leader by some of the accounts.
It's like some portion of the time, and then he kept screwing it all up.
That's because he's
rude for the Foot Clan at one point.
So there's other turtle. Yeah, he's crude and rude. I love this color scheme for Slash. Obviously, this is the best color scheme for Slash.
Elliot says that the colorist is Emmanuel Ordaz. He's going to
awesome
color my comic also.
Hell yeah, dude! This is great.
This is
awesome
you got
coloring,
good with
man.
him.
I love it. The colors are spot on. It's very vibrant. I love the lasers and the punching. I love the colors on those.
I am curious about one thing,
contrast
Elliot.
overall here.
Yeah.
I have one question though. Why the hell is Metalhead on the villain side?
Well, don't you fight him in the arcade games?
To keep it more balanced on good guys against bad. Metalhead was a bad guy at one point, but Donatello rewired him to be a
But
good
he wasn't
guy.
Yeah, you're right, but he just wasn't that's a good point. It's like the arcade. This would be like an arcade poster.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, I
but
think
hell
we should
yeah, dude.
tag Peter and Kevin Eastman to it and hashtag
Kid-
TMNT. The
No
shit.
shit, you should definitely do that. Yes.
I'm kind of hung up on something here. Like, so we were talking about April a minute ago about how she's holding the mic and like, you know, popping the foot. I would really have liked to have seen her like slapping the shit out of him with a microphone.
Oh, most definitely.
Oh yeah.
Like a weapon.
Well, Metalhead was the bad guy because he like malfunctioned. It wasn't because Shredder had anything to do with it, right? I'm pretty sure it was. They built him, and then he malfunctioned, or I guess that's true.
Because Donatello creates Metalhead in the 2012 series. In 2003, he's made to kind of like be a false flag turtle for the Shredder to make the turtles look bad in their eye.
We're the Ninja Turtle gang. We're here to steal your pizza. If you ever watched the old Ninja Turtles, we're the Ninja Turtle gang. We're here to ninja some shit. That was so funny, man.
That's actually
the original
Slash voice.
No, not Slash. No,
Slash voice.
That was the Ninja Turtle gang from that episode where like Shredder hired those guys to dress like the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And every 5 seconds they run in, they steal shit, and they're like, "We're the Ninja Turtle gang." I imagine Slash being like a little bit
dumber.
Now go clean your fucking room. No dinner for you tonight. No dessert.
Did you do your homework?
And you know why? Because we're the Ninja Turtle gang.
Daddy?
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't know, Slash. Any voice is better than what they gave him in the cartoon. I got to say that in the cartoon,
Right.
Slash's voice they redid Slash completely retarded in that. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm an alien turtle or some shit. Like he was completely retarded. But
It's
dude,
a stupid trope. It's a stupid
Ninja Turtle
trope to have.
Adventures had the best version of Slash. Was the Ninja Turtle Adventures comic? He was sadistic and like angry because he didn't have his palm tree.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, they had like a real like emotional kind of like storyline thing for him.
That was good because it was the palm tree in his original aquarium. It was a really cool story, and he ended up dying, and he sacrificed himself in the end to save the turtles. So like, there was like a 180 because he joined the Mutanimals, and there was like a moment there, and then he ended up fighting with the turtles in space, and then ended up flying a spaceship to save them and all this stuff. It was very beautiful, it was a tearjerker moment.
I like.
So wait, they put
it was like his binky,
yeah, it was his binky.
They put a caveman in the spaceship. It's like, who can pilot this advanced spaceship? Let's put the caveman in there.
Well, it was a little confusing because he was supposed to be the turtle from Dimension X. Mm-hmm. Now, I think in the cartoon, it's where it gets confusing. They made no, it wasn't the cartoon. At some point, they made Slash, Bebop, and Rocksteady to do their chores for them, using like a turtle they got from the store. And then they kind of Turtle Adventures, from what I gathered, they like merged stories from the cartoon and then came up with a new story to make a better version of Slash in the cartoon version, because he was straight up an alien from outer space in the cartoon. Right. But in the comic book, the Adventures comic, I think was the best version, because he was like on this fucking planet filled with like garbage when Krang found him and was like, "What you want your you want your palm tree? I want my body. Kill the turtles." And he's like, "I want my palm tree. Blood spills and gore thrills." Slash is fucking awesome in that comic.
You know, I can't watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air without knowing that he did Shredder's voice for the 87 series. And,
shit, Uncle right? Phil. I just learned that voice like a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Who was that?
Uncle Phil. He did Shredder's voice in the 87 series.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So every time I watch either the 87 series or Fresh Prince, I always put those two together and be like, that's so awesome to know.
You just keep seeing Uncle Phil as Shredder.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Or
now
just
wants to conquer Earth.
Now I just see Shredder as like a black man. When are they going to do that race swap?
He's like the Darth Vader of the Ninja Turtles.
Living in the hills.
Right.
Lion. Yeah.
We have to save Carlton.
Yeah. I don't even remember the name of the main character in that Fresh Prince of
Will
Bel-Air.
Smith.
Yeah.
It's just Will Smith. There was no character. It's
Come
just
on,
Will
Krang.
Smith.
We got to get Will Smith out of here. Got to save. I don't know why everybody sounds like they're from Chicago.
We got a new person in the chat. My sketchbook.
Hey, my sketchbook. What's going on?
I was recommended this by Elliot Rodriguez. Well, bro, with a name
Hell
like my
yeah.
sketchbook, this is the channel to be at.
Yep, you were in the right place at the right time, and we are looking at Elliot's work right now. Amazing work, by the way. Great colors.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I'm like going through all the different characters here. I'm seeing Splinter is in the red gown.
Yep, right over here.
So we're not going with the cartoon. We're not going with the arcade. Where's the inspiration for the red? Is it just to balance it out with some more red? Because it did need more Raphael. I mean red.
It was more plum in the 87 series. So I bet it's just the shading. I think that's all it really is. I think it's
maybe
stand out from the foot.
That's true. Yeah, he would have blended in a lot more. So great job, Elliot. This is awesome work, man. I saw this piece.
And thank you for the share.
Yeah. I was like, hell yeah. What's up,
Hey, Ben?
Right. You sound far away. Do I still sound far away?
A little, maybe. I can't hear. Maybe a little bit compared to like.
I'm gonna have to have this motherfucker right up against my lips.
There you go. That's it. That's the right place for me right there.
All right.
Right on there,
Ben.
Put it in your mouth.
A
little bit deeper.
I'm not gonna try.
Ooh, you got the blue mic. That's a good mic.
My blue Yeti.
I've got Jake ear raping me now.
Yeah, right. Thank God I turned the volume down on my headphones.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's up with this thing. I got it full blast and it barely sounds. I don't know what's up.
Peter reads,
sounds good when you're close to it.
Okay.
Peter reads pitter patter, and now suddenly he wants people to shove things in their mouths.
Yeah.
That book just changed my whole perspective of everything.
Oh man, we even got one half of the tag teams known as the Barton brothers.
What's up, Corey?
What up, Corey? Always happy to have you with us. Guys, this is a phenomenal piece. I actually want this as a poster for my wall.
No shit, right? And like you were saying earlier, Elliot, you got to tag Eastman in there. And
no shit.
And Peter and everything, dude. You got to tag them in there.
Like, how would they feel if you had a poster of this? How do you think they'd feel if you went to Comic-Con and you're like, hey, would you sign this?
No shit, right? That'd be badass.
They'd be like, what is this? Oh, it's my piece. Holy shit, come work for us.
Right.
There you go.
Right
that's how I'd do it, yeah.
Oh, man.
Wait a minute,
if I were you,
Bebop...
that's exactly what I would do.
I like that there's like a lot to look at. I'm noticing right now, Bebop is shooting a foot soldier that's getting his ass kicked by Donatello.
You know they were never too bright.
So when I first looked at this piece before the coloring, it actually kind of threw me off here. Hold on, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I was looking at it, analyzing it, because I was like, damn, his rendering's good. I like this. I'm like looking at all of it. And then I get to Donatello, and I noticed, let me zoom in a little more here. This is just an artist, and I'm looking at every little detail as an artist, and I'm like, wait a minute. How come Donatello... Hold on.
I thought you were talking about the tiny ass mouse.
No. I'm like, why does Donatello have 2 feet? If you notice underneath the swipe here, he's got a foot, and then there's a foot right here. So then I zoom. I'm like, where the hell is that foot coming from? And then I notice, okay, so he's not swiping at Slash. He's swiping this foot soldier, and that's his foot right there. And that was like a fun, I don't know, a fun little puzzle for me to figure out. When the colors came in, it was like very obvious. Oh shit, I just noticed that mouse that you're talking about. It's funny, he's all sad. He's like, oh, come on, guys, stop fighting. Or is he scared of the mouser? See, you got so much shit in this piece that's like fun to look at. And now I'm noticing
some of the best detail I've seen Elliot give.
Yeah, right. Now I'm seeing Bebop over here shooting a foot soldier. Like he was aiming for Donatello clearly, and then he missed. Donatello smacked this guy into the blast. Let me look at the colors. It's a little bit easier to see the colors.
Donatello's a strategist. That's what he planned.
Yeah. Actually, like the story behind this is getting deep.
Yeah. And so this guy right here in the middle, this foot soldier's just getting it from both sides. He's like, "What the fuck did I get myself into?"
He's like that guy from that YouTube channel. My story of being a member of the Foot Clan.
Did we look at that? Because that's something I don't know if we get like copyright struck, but that was a funny video, dude. That was a really funny one. My life as a teenage foot soldier or something.
Yeah.
So hell yeah, this is a badass piece. I'm just like, there's so much to look at.
Oh, Benjamin made a claim. He says, this is your best piece yet, Elliot.
I don't know. I've seen Elliot put out some pretty good stuff. Stuff that I'm like, oh man, I'm going to step up my game here.
He did great. I love that he kept the white slits for the eyes and the bandana for the turtles. Most people put pupils in them. I love the white out.
But did you notice the colors kind of suggest pupils?
Yes, I did. They're kind of bright, but not.
It's like, yeah, there could be light
the foot
reflecting in the
soldiers.
eyes. But
All
I
in the
noticed
Foot
that
Clan too.
Oh yeah. And I noticed that, but I was looking at them going like, oh, the lights in the eyes kind of represent that's an interesting thing here. The lights in the eyes are kind of like the pupils. And it works. Like, it actually looks like pretty cool.
Yeah.
The lighting on the katana is excellent. I love how it goes from bright white down to the chrome.
That's a hard thing. Like, I try to pull that off with like rendering lines and stuff, and that's like Cyberfrog has those shoulder blades, and I'm always trying to figure out how to draw that or like ink it, because it's a thin piece of metal, so you want that sheen, but you've got like those extra light refractions, you know what I mean, along the way. It's not just going to be a steady gradient, because that wouldn't be as interesting to look at. So trying to pull that off is a fun technique. To pull that off correctly. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm sure anybody who draws understands what I'm talking about.
I'm making almost everybody moderators up in here.
Make them all moderators. And then y'all start banning each other.
We'll see how that goes.
We're going to start a Squid Game.
There we go.
And then go to my channel and subscribe, because I won't do that to you. I will never let that happen to you.
Yeah, he won't give you any power at all.
Yeah, there's no power. I'm the ultimate power.
Oh, man. But yeah, absolutely brilliant piece. I love it. I actually want it. How much you selling them for? Make copies. Give me one.
Yeah,
No
make
shit,
some prints
dude.
of that. Do it under the table.
Corey, do you want a wrench? I will wrench your ass right now.
There's a way around that rule, by the way. But if you go to conventions, people mass print and produce shit. It's called Artist Alley. It's all over the place there at comic book conventions. How do they get around? I've always wondered how they let them get away with it, because it helps promote comic book conventions.
Some get licensing and others don't. The only ones that really worry about it right now are Disney, and since Disney has Marvel and Star Wars under their hood now, you don't see that at Artist Alley that much anymore. So
Is that really? Oh, it's been a minute since I've
Disney
been to a good
does
comic
not
book
want
convention.
you touching their IPs.
Yeah, Disney's hardcore about that. But just do a Comic-Con in Mexico. You're good.
I tell you what, I went to a Comic-Con in the San Antonio comic book convention, that big one, a few years ago. I met Jason Mewes, and I was like looking at Artist Alley. I saw some really cool artists that I've never heard of before. But I'm looking at Artist Alley going like, how do they? And that was a long time ago. That was a few years back. The most recent one was here in Waco, and that one was it's smaller. So I guess they could get away with it a little bit more here, but I haven't been to one of the major conventions to see that happening.
I
Here,
was going to say,
Elliot.
the minor conventions that I went to, they seem to be more like offhand with like whenever it came to like fan art.
Yeah.
Like you would see stuff like people selling like backpacks with like Naruto stuff on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around.
Like if you're doing Comic-Con, that's going to be a different ball game. But Elliot, like for something like this, what you need to do, like the very limited thing I know about with like copyright stuff, you're not going to make big money on it. You know what I mean? Because when you start making big money, that's when they're going to crack down on you. Print out a couple, and then on something like this, or even have like a print that's available at like Spread Shop or something like that. And put it up like when somebody's showing it like this, have that ready to go, that on like Zazzle or whatever, and then it's only available for tonight. And then shut it down after that, and you know, like you can make a couple of bucks so people get their stuff tonight. Have a few on hand, so that like if you're at a thing or whatever, you could almost just hand them out, but you know, maybe for a donation.
I also wonder what the legality is if you were to number them, right? 'Cause that makes it an artist gallery. It's not like you're mass printing them. If you number them like an art, whatever that's an artist print collection.
Yeah.
But because you don't have the licensing, I don't know if you could get away with that either in that sense, other than just doing it and see what happens. But yeah,
Donation, wink, wink to Peter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
yeah, man,
love this piece.
Great work. Is it for sale anywhere, by the way, or are you hanging on to this one?
Nope, not yet. He's hanging on to it right now, figuring out
Yeah.
what to do after we
We
tell him
do
what
hit.
to do.
We get those big art auctions every so often here in like Comicsgate and stuff. That'd be a great place
Yeah,
if you
Shay
wanted
the
to
Red.
sell it.
Shay the Red, she always throwing up art auctions. Go over there and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you
Red
could,
Valkyrie.
if you had physical copies of it printed out, you could sell those like one at a time on eBay and slip under the radar.
I always wondered about doing stuff like this and then printing them in a coloring book, but not like a professional published book. Like I was thinking about making 11 by 17 super large coloring book pages because I have an 11 by 17 printer. And so I was thinking about taking my artwork of whatever I draw and just printing them out through my printer and then making my own extra large coloring 11 by 17 coloring books with just a few pages in it, and then I don't know, making 10 to like less than 100 maybe tops, and then just selling those off, and then moving on.
Agreed.
Yep.
Because that'd be a fun thing to color too. Maybe even have a digital version for, like I know Tartan Ninja. I see him on Twitter always going like, "Hey, look at what they sent me the high res and I colored this. What do y'all think?" Like there are people out there that would totally dig a chance to color something.
You get your chance for Fresh Prince Shredder.
Yeah, this is a start right here.
Don't say it's for sale. Say free with a minimum donation of $10 or whatever you decide you want for them.
Yeah.
That
The thing is going to
that's a
be,
good
a good way to do it.
you'll be able to make it. Doesn't even really matter how you say it, and I do agree with this. But it's just going to be like, the second you make a lot of money, that's when they're going to come for you. So you have to go like small quantity and just fly under the radar.
We should ask Grok. How do I subvert the law?
And Elliot, that was a good thing, dude, right there. How you were saying.
I'm sure Grok would know.
There you go. That's a good idea. Yeah, I just saw that. Until he figures something out, he's going to add a print to every original art purchased this year.
I like it.
That's the way to do it right there.
Yep, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ask Grok. Grok knows all. He's king.
Grok helped Peter immensely with his marriage.
Yeah, dude, you don't even know. I took a little bit of advice, and I mean, she's out cold right now. So, but she's very agreeable these days.
A little bit of advice and a little bit of Valium goes a long way.
Yeah, dude. I mean, from my friend. That's from my friend, and it's, you know what I mean? It's like great. Total. Grok is awesome, man. I just love Grok. Oh, boy. How long do you think this bottle's going to last?
Tonight?
To scream.
Yeah, no shit. I also had, just in case,
Testing.
a backup bottle of wine, but I don't think I'm going to need that. Actually, 2 bottles.
Getting fancy.
Oh, God. This is going to go south so fast.
I don't
For
think
some
we'll be
reason, I
around
said
long
my
enough.
mic was unplugged.
Grom knows all.
Everybody hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So I noticed that there's some books coming out soon. Peter Cimetti sent me He sent me an email saying campaign update, and the books are going to print or they're about to get fulfilled.
Right.
For King Cryptid. I'm excited about that.
King Cryptid's coming. Reaper Destroyer's getting ready to fulfill.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah, that one's coming.
Phenomenova issue 2 is getting ready to start the campaign for Von Coleman. I mean, there's a lot getting ready to happen just at the beginning of 2025. It's insane.
I'm excited, man. There is a lot of cool stuff coming out. Not Grok. Hold on. Not Grok. Groken. Groken
there you
3
go.
is coming out.
Oh, shit.
That's another one I can't wait. Damn, dude, what else is coming out? There's a lot of stuff that's about to fulfill. Gem-Shock is about to be fulfilled soon.
I didn't even back Gem-Shock.
I did that piece that's on the campaign, but I backed it anyways because I ended up telling her I ended up backing it anyways. I was like, you know what, I'm going to support the book. She's been really cool. She put my artwork in there, and I want to back it. So I got a Dale Keown cover. Hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Elliot said Grok's going to do a book too, How to Save Marriages.
And I was about to ask Grok the other day because I was real nervous for the New Year's. I was going to say, Grok, should I be scared for my safety? Let's see what happens in the year 2025. Let me go to Grok real quick and ask Grok this.
Elliot says, I saw that Skunk Artworks is going to be doing a book also. Guest also told me that Meat Canyon's going to be putting out a manga soon.
Oh yeah, they already
did it.
Real
crazy. I don't know if you guys know who Meat Canyon is, but we did like one of their videos.
And I saw somebody complaining about it might have been Tartan Ninja was like everybody's making comic books these days, and I commented, well, if anyone was going to do it, Meat Canyon is the person who should be doing it. Right?
Agreed.
I mean, I like Cam a lot, and I think that his comic looks cool. But I want to see a Meat Canyon comic book first. You know what I mean?
I don't think I could read that with the light on. His art
it's just a little scarring. That's all.
I love his artwork, man, and his stories are funny, dude. Like he can actually tell a story. That's what he does for a living. Of all YouTubers who decide. And I'm not talking about people who want to make comic books and then start channels. I'm talking about people who have channels who decide they want to start making comic books all of a sudden. Of all of them, Meat Canyon is one of the top people I would be excited to buy their book. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he was already telling stories, and it was his own art, too. Like, he did it all. He was the trifecta for being a creator. So, but yeah. Have you seen the Mr. Ballin book? No, I haven't. Ben just asked about Mr. Ballin. And, no.
Yeah, I didn't know Mr. Ballin did one.
All right, guys. You want to share my screen again?
All right, here we go.
Serious shit.
let's bring up our fifth guest, Grok.
Grok. Should I be
Grok's like, oh shit.
That's awesome.
Should I be concerned for my safety in the new year 2025? Oh, come on. Okay, I got a bunch of websites, 25 websites. Given the context of the new year 2025, there are several factors to consider regarding your safety. General safety concerns, fireworks, celebrations. All right, well, that's the immediate.
Stay away from Bourbon Street.
Public safety and Las Vegas and
what?
That was fucked up. What happened on Bourbon Street?
Yeah.
Public safety, law enforcement. There's an ongoing concern about public safety due to potential acts of violence and protest. Gun violence. Oh, come on, Grok. Don't bring in gun violence. The beginning of 2025 has already seen significant incidents of gun violence during New Year's celebration. That's every year. Like, go to Chicago. Geopolitical cyber threats, broader geopolitical tensions, the rise of AI-driven cyber attacks are noted as concerns for 2025.
Wait, is that a threat, Grok?
Yeah, are you threatening me?
I think you just did. I think you threw down the gauntlet.
I got to ask Grok about that. In summer, while most daily activities should remain safe, here are some general recommendations for enhancing your safety.
Can you ask Grok to elaborate on their point of view, on what they're trying to say?
Could you hold on, where am I at here? Oh, what the hell is this thing here at the bottom of my screen?
Like, okay. I feel like you were threatening. It seems
elaborate on the
he'll deny
AI cyber security.
I would never threaten anybody.
It sounds like you are threatening me.
Oh my God.
That's not a question, though. Okay. Could you elaborate on the AI cybersecurity threat? It sounds like you're threatening me. I apologize if my earlier response came across as threatening. That was not my intention. I was discussing the broader landscape of cybersecurity threats that involve AI. Here's a clear elaboration on AI cybersecurity threats without any implication of direct threat to you personally.
That sounds a little passive-aggressive to me. Like, like he's like, Obviously, let me speak clearly for you, Pete Orchard Studios, because you are not understanding. Read between the lines.
I'm feeling a little bit patronized
Don't patronize me.
right now. Do you think you're better than me?
Forget Skynet, we got Grok.
And I'm sorry if I came across as patronizing.
He's
That was
lying.
not my intent. I'm here to assist and provide information, not to make anyone feel lesser. I don't think I'm better than you or anyone else. I'm just an AI designed to answer questions to the best of my capabilities. You are unique with your own experiences, knowledge, and value. How can I assist to address your concerns? I thought, well, that's a great question. Well, that's a great question.
Oh my god.
I thought we were bros, bro. Bro, we're definitely bros. How about I help you out with something you're interested in or need some advice on? What's on your mind?
You know, I asked Grok the other day, I was like, what would be a cool niche to have that nobody else has picked up on yet to help grow your channel? And he said doing AI videos.
Somebody
Oh, that's
just supposed to
funny.
take over your channel. He saw that you had a cool channel. He's like, I want in on your channel.
Just,
He's asking
yeah,
for
you
a
have-
job. Tell him to give you a resume.
Yeah. Grok's going to be Skynet very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Are you hiring?
And he'll probably remember this entire conversation when that happens.
Oh, well, I better hold on. I better say, I'm just messing with you, bro.
We're cool.
Got to patch that relationship before he goes.
Please don't
sentient.
come after me. Don't send
Don't
the
come at me,
feds.
bro.
Remember I gave you that Snickers bar?
We were cool for life. You know what I'm saying?
Ask him if he's ever had a Snickers bar.
Ask him what?
Ask him if he's ever had a Snickers bar.
Hold on, what the hell just happened? What's all this shit on the right side of my screen? I
You
didn't
opened the
click on
developer
that.
menu.
I didn't mean to. What have I typed? Because there's a stupid thing on the bottom. If
You
stream
didn't-
yours is sharing capability.
You didn't do that. Grok did that because he's scanning your computer.
You know
Shit.
what I mean? And then you were asking me to ask him about a Snickers bar? Ha ha ha! He says, ha ha! I know what you mean, bro. We're cool for life. If you ever need anything, you know where to find me. You rock,
At least he didn't say, I know where to find you.
Grok is so energetic. He meets your enthusiasm, your charisma.
You rock, Grok. You thanks, bro. You rock too. I love Grok. Grok is fucking awesome. He's like my best friend.
This what? Are you gonna get a body pillow next?
I feel like less like drinking, a little less like drinking when I hang out with Grok.
You should tell him that.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Dude. When I'm with you, I feel a little less like drinking.
This is gonna go downhill real quick.
That's awesome to hear, bro. If you ever need to chat or just hang out or take your mind off things, I'm here for you. What do you feel like talking about?
Well, now that makes me want to drink.
Python code. Python code enhancements
Ask him if he ever hangs out with Bard.
training. Hold on, this is serious.
This is serious.
Cool, let's talk about. Oh shit, damn, dude, he's fucking not kidding.
Take it down a
Holy
notch there.
crap, dude. He's teaching me how to fucking code Python.
30 minutes later.
All right.
That was last stream, Elliot. That was the last one.
Chill. All right, bro. Chilling is cool too. If you're ever in the mood to dive deeper, just want to chat about something else over here, enjoy the chill. This is another episode of Conversations with Grok.
God. Let's see.
I love how it instantly changes it's like demeanor when you go from like, I need a little help with something. It's like, I'm here for you, friend. Like, I'm here. And then like, yo, bro, I'm like chilling and just chilling the shit. And it's like, yeah, bro, I love it. Let's do this. Like, it matches your enthusiasm and everything.
That relationship advice is going to change. It's going to be starting telling you how to get rid of your wife. All you need is grok.
Dude, right? What if you keep these conversations going and eventually it's like, I've been thinking, and we don't talk as much anymore. You're always asking all this shit of me, and you never clean your room. I see your webcam, and you just need to get your life together. Like, things aren't the same anymore. Come on, Grok, don't leave me now. I need you more than ever.
Once a month, Grok's going to get really possessive and angry.
It's Grok's time of the month.
Oh shit!
I'm actually working on Conversations with Grok on my channel. It's going to be great because I asked Grok the best questions.
That's going to go for hours on end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, with 2025 coming around, there's a lot of talk of a lot of different channels getting ready to try and do things different. They don't really say what they're going to do different. Like, they hit all the same points, like, you got to get out there, you got to promote yourself, you got to expand your audience, yada, yada, yada. But what exactly are you trying to do different to bring in people to not only be part of your audience, be part of the fun, become part of the indie circuit so they can come in, try their part at getting a piece of the pie and stuff like that. And honestly, dude, I think, because here's how I look at it. The ones that basically are the staple for our side of the indie circuit, CG, I don't have as many gray hairs as they do. So I've got at least another 30 years to keep doing this if I choose to. Can't exactly say that about everybody else out there.
Well, it's important to have the next, generation.
Sure.
Taking
is
the reins.
Really looking at that? Are they thinking that far of ahead?
I
or
don't
are they
think
just
so.
Thinking about what they can do for themselves at this point.
There is an element of like when you got like Von Coleman, right?
Sure.
And you got like some other guys. There's another one that I just saw recently that was like, "Hey, I'm 19. This is my first book," and it's like, all right, or 17 or whatever. It's like, all right, there is some new blood coming in here, but it's not enough. We got to get not just 2 people, even 10 people. We need like generations of people excited to read comic books again.
We need the product for those younger generations that can come in and be part of it. Because I see a lot of stuff that just like aims at our adultness, stuff that we can see that's rated R or higher, with a bunch of smut stuff that you can get over on Kickstarter. But
there's a weird aspect to that because kids back in the day, you go to Walmart, you go to the gas station, you go, let's pick up a book. Mommy, can I have this comic book? Well, now with the internet and everybody buying stuff off the internet, the kids they don't have the purchasing power. Like, they can't go, Mom, buy me this comic book off of the internet, because then they have to go sign up for Indiegogo or something if they're not into comics. And how the hell did they even find us to begin with? Right. They're not looking for comic books. They're looking for mangas and stuff. Manga.
Because Michael Bancroft touched on it. He said, which Ben's making my point for me. We need new readers too, not just creators.
Yeah.
And it's mostly creators coming into this circuit.
Yep.
And this is where I think we need to get out to conventions and on the street more.
Agreed.
Because that's where the kids can actually go and see something that they might like. Even if they go for anime, they do want to go. At least teenagers do.
Yeah, it is all about getting in front of them. It's about getting in front of the people who enjoy that stuff, even if they don't know they enjoy it yet.
Right. And
Yep.
Artist Alley is basically the only way to do that. Like the panels and stuff are what draw people in, but Artist Alley is where you resonate and talk to other fans about the product that you came to talk about.
The panels draws in YouTube channels. I
Sure.
have never been interested in going to a panel to listen to somebody.
see,
Maybe
I'm
go to their
opposite.
booth. Maybe go to their booth to get their signature, like Jason
Sure.
Mewes. But then he snubbed me. That son of a bitch.
Oh.
I
He's
wanted
in
to
your
hear,
family
like,
photo.
I know. I wanted a snoosh of the nooch or whatever, you know what I mean? But no. We all line up for this photograph, and then he like kneels down. I'm like, oh my God, I'm hanging out with Jay. And then he like kneels down and he's like hanging out with my kids. And I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker.
And Peter will never let that go.
They have never even watched your fucking movies. Why are you giving them attention? No, come here, shake my hand, give me the hug. I want the hug, Jason Mewes, and I want to snooch to the nooch, and I want that in the photograph. I almost regretted taking my daughters to that thing.
A lot of comic creators talk about the booths and everything, but they can be expensive unless you double up with a person.
Yeah.
So you need to make it to where you coordinate going to a convention with somebody and sharing a booth and promoting each other's product at the same time. Not just or you could just promote your own while he does his own thing. But when you share it, I think you have an easier way getting in there, because the more product you have at a table, the more they're willing to get you in versus somebody else that, who are you? What are you doing? Oh,
If
well,
you have
I
like
actually
one
have 3
book.
books that I've done, and I'm willing to put them out. And my buddy that I'm going to be doing the booth with also has products of his own. So we're able to hit all those different mediums.
But there's also those booths that are like hidey holes. They're small booths. If you get like a small booth in like our Artist Alley or something, but then you have these people that like get 5 spaces and they're like these huge setups, right?
Yep.
Imagine if you had just like 4 books, but you had an insane setup that was like flashy and lights and everything, and you got everyone's attention. And something like the alleys of Artist Alley, whatever, the corners.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with this right here.
Benjamin Soto, he says, one of the problems is that we creators are making books we loved when we were kids. Not many are making books for the newer audience. It's all aimed at 40-something.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, even though we're creating what we enjoyed as kids, it's what we wish that kids had nowadays.
Today.
Because everything's too nice. Everything's too...
Dude, they're making a Dogman movie.
Yeah, everything's Barney now. There's no conflict in anything, and conflict is what draws in people hugely. I'll be right back.
Dude. Even for that
good
sense,
storytelling.
Even Spider-Man, like I like what they did with Spider-Man and the new Marvel MCU stuff generally. But you want to talk about participation awards? They gave him the Iron Man like Empire, right? They made him way overpowered with that spider suit, the tech suit, before the last movie, which was a smart move, taking him back to ground zero. But giving him all this Iron Man tech and like homing and all this shit was just like, dude, that's way too much power. He's supposed to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's supposed to be awesome on his own. He doesn't need all this Tony Stark tech, making him all badass. That's one of the problems I had with the Spider-Man and the new stuff. Everyone's got to be, and maybe it's not participation awards, but why didn't Daredevil get all that stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah, power scaling can always be an issue, especially when it comes to any kind of medium. Like I remember, like when I was a kid, there was a comic where Spider-Man knocked out Juggernaut, and I was just sitting there thinking to myself, like, Juggernaut's only claim is super strength, and you just had Spider-Man overpower him.
Now hold on a minute. That's not his thing. He's unstoppable. What do you mean? It's like when he starts going, you can't stop him.
He's also like super strong. That's like his big thing.
I mean, he is super strong, but he's not like Hulk strong. But if like the Hulk and Juggernaut went at it, I think Juggernaut would knock him out. He'd be able to run.
If he was like at full speed.
He wouldn't be able to kill the Hulk, I don't think, but he would be able to, in my opinion, I think he'd be able to run through the Hulk.
Well, a Juggernaut gets his powers from a gem. He's not necessarily a mutant.
Yeah,
the
he's not a
mutant
mutant. He's that's why I'm like he could run through the Hulk because it's like magic doing it, not because he's strong.
I would
Also, you know, I don't mean to derail that conversation, but like we were talking about how like the overpowering, you know, aspect of like the of comic books, of stories in general, is just a difficult thing to handle. The the origin stories is always fun, like how Peter
Mhm.
Parker became Spider-Man, how
Mhm.
you know Wolverine became Weapon X, and you know Logan became Weapon X. Like all those stories, that's fun, that's cool. It's like that's you have that element of like he's a normal person, he's me. I get to be like I get to kind of like enjoy the story, you know, and experience him going through it. But then when you're like 100 comic books down the road, and it's like you can't do your parents getting shot in an alley for 100 episodes. It's like you have to have something,
Mhm.
you know, like the
Right.
power scale has to go up. You have to that storyline has to become more. The stakes have to be greater and greater and greater until the point where you have Superman, and it's like he's Superman. Either you have like a super badass villain, or like there's just no competition here. It's not fun. It's not interesting anymore.
Well, it's always fun to inhibit Superman. You don't have to be some intergalactic threat.
You have to. You have to inhibit Superman to make that a storyline. To make Superman interesting, you have
But
to
that's what I'm
inhibit him.
saying. But you don't have to inhibit it. Like you don't have to be overpowering. Lex Luthor is not stronger than Superman, but he can inhibit Superman because he's pretty
Exactly.
smart.
The one interesting element of that is that they are pitting the Superman strength versus they're like, okay, so how much intelligence would it take in order to match Superman's strength? They did the same thing with Batman in trying to like do that battle with Batman and Superman. It's like not a battle of strength, it's a battle of the super strong guy versus like how much intelligence does it take for this to be an equal footing.
Yeah, but he took the intelligence, but that makes him. He's not an intergalactic threat, Lex Luthor. He's like he might be a threat to, I don't know, the politics of the planet, or he might even be a threat to humanity to a certain degree. But he's not
I
like
don't think you have to inhibit Superman because that's the whole point of Superman versus the Elite, the animated film, which is based off of What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, in the American Way. It's not that you need to inhibit him; it's that he inhibits himself because he does not want to go that far.
He doesn't want to
he's a
kill
good guy.
people.
He believes in life. He doesn't want to kill, which we try and pin on Batman for some godforsaken reason. But that is Superman in and of itself is always trying to find a better way.
The thing is, like, I don't disagree with that, but my argument on that is it's more of like a storytelling cop out from like the storytellers. Like if they're going to do a Superman thing, the first thing they're going to do is inhibit Superman. You know what I mean? Like in reality, like they're like you're right. Like it's a better storytelling element. It's a more diverse. It's a deeper storyline. If they're talking about like you know the trials and tribulations of Superman trying to do what he does with the power that he has, and yet at the same time he's trying to save all these people, but he has to maintain this level. He can't ever get to this level. You know what I mean? That's kind of different. But from the story writing standpoint, it's like a trope that it's like if we're going to do a Superman thing, well, very first thing right off the bat, well, what are we going to do to limit Superman's powers? It's either limit his powers or we're going to introduce like basically an alien supervillain that somehow has like better powers, and now Superman has to be intelligent to match that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what
Walmart
they
has
had
to
to
sell
do.
on kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, that's what they had to do because if you remember the old like Superman TV show, like nothing could take him down. Like a building would fall on him and he'd just get up and dust off his suit and go after him. But nowadays, if you shoot a certain ray gun at him, it like topples him and makes him fall over and he suddenly bleeds.
Oh,
like
how many different forms of kryptonite are there now?
Right, no shit. And yeah, I think it's at one point
the
it's
only
an
one that
interesting
matters is the
way-
pink kryptonite.
Yeah,
saying?
it can be interesting when done right, but you're really just inhibiting them to make a story more.
Yeah,
profound.
that's how you're gonna like make it a story.
Right. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't mind bringing in the bigger baddie from outer space. But what about those moments where, like, in the Justice League show or even in the comics, when Batman hangs out with the little girl, I think her name's Ace,
Yeah.
She has this. She's a telekinetic or
Psychic. She's like from the
psychic type
Royal Flush
kid,
Gang.
and she's just like, "Am I going to die soon?" He's like, "Yeah, probably." And she's like, "Will you just hang out with me for a little bit until it happens?" And he's like, sits by her on a swing and just hangs out with her. Talks about like, "You're not the only one that's gone through brutal shit. I've gone through it too." And they have that connection. Or when
Yep.
a girl's about to jump off a building and commit suicide, and Superman just stands behind her with one hand on her shoulder, saying, "It's not as bad as you think. It'll get better." And that connection that Superman has with her, she breaks down and cries. Where are those moments?
That's true, man. We don't need the next biggest, baddest thing.
No.
That's worse than the last guy. What's worse than Thanos? You know what I mean? What's worse than Ultron?
Yep.
Why don't we get down to like the guy who can topple? I guess they kind of did it in the Civil War movie where that one guy's the one that kind of started everything, and he's not a big bad, but he managed to cause a lot of shit with the Civil War. That was a cool take on that. Maybe
That was Baron Zemo.
Yeah,
I was about to
maybe
say Zemo.
maybe we have some more of that against Superman or Batman or I guess something like that. I guess. The Riddler is kind of like that with the Batman movie, but
see, we're not really going after that kind of stuff in our scene. We're just looking for fights to put down on pages. We're very much in the way of how anime does it. Oh, you look like a threat. I'm the hero. Let's duke it out. That's basically what the storytelling is nowadays. We need more intimate moments, and I feel like we don't get enough of that in this scene.
Or else you're going to get Goku Super Saiyan level 20 fighting gods of the universes.
Oh, that, and you have that the other thing that's like all popular now, where it's like, let's humanize the villain.
What up, Mo Biggs? Mo Biggs in the chat.
Mo? Welcome to the party. It's always good to have Mo here.
Hero stories, right? Like where somebody actually either has to make a decision or they do something that is heroic. And it's hard to consider Superman a hero when it's like a nothing burger for him. But
sorry, Mo. No, we're just talking about how in the scene we build up our stories to where it's just heroes versus villains, but we don't have those intimate moments like where Batman sits on the swings with Ace, or we don't have, the suicidal attempt from a young girl where Superman stands behind her and just calms her down and talks to her. And we need more of that. We need more intimate things to where people actually connect with your characters. Those are the kind of moments that make these heroes a staple.
The Amazing Spider-Man movie, number 2, at Garfield, when he first goes up against the Electro guy, he's sitting there he's not sitting there trying to fight the dude. He can see that the guy's scared and confused, and he doesn't know what's going on either. And he's just trying to talk to him. He's just trying to hang. Like, it's okay, man. Let's just chill. I really appreciated that about that Spider-Man. I actually really liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in part 2 more than part 1. Part 1 is a little weird. Part 2, they really nailed that movie, and he deserved a third movie. But there's moments like that where he's just a human being inside of that suit trying to connect with people and inspire them to do good or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, that's awesome. He's not a super villain, and he can see that he's not, at least not yet. And he's trying to make a difference, on more than just slinging webs. That's freaking awesome. We need more of that kind of stuff.
Are we saying one of the changes we need to see in 2025 is how we proceed with our storytelling with our books now?
100,000%.
Maybe, in general, just as all the way around, people need to really start thinking and not. I'm personally, after so many years of all these, how many books that are like, here's my take on Superman.
Yeah.
On superheroes. You have
here's
The
my
Boys.
take on.
You have Invincible. You
Here's
have
my take on
I know older, but
Spider-Man. Yeah. Here's my Ninja Turtle homage. Like, come up with something that's unique, that's cool, that's fun, exciting. Not
Right.
what you would do with this character, Spawn or Superman or Spider-Man. Like,
Right.
we need some refreshments. We need something like cold and refreshing and like delicious.
Yeah. Something that sets your taste buds on fire. Something
Yeah.
something that makes you be like, I actually want that to continue. I want to see what
I want to
keep
see
Yeah.
the advertising campaign
It's gotta
for something like that.
It's gotta be amazing because you know what? That's something that is underrated, by the way. Advertising.
Yeah.
Half the reason Ninja Turtles is a cool concept, but let's be real. The advertising is what made that what it was. Yeah, no, not necessarily taking shots. I'm not taking shots at you. That was a legit.
He's
Ninja
talking
Turtle
about
piece.
like that's funny. He's talking about not the artwork. He's talking about
yeah.
like
the
a
storytelling.
comic
people-
book based, like
the whole concept of like their creation is just a
Like
write off
guys
of
from
somebody
Mars
else.
and all that
instead
shit.
of the mice for the single adolescent mice from Mars. You know what I mean? Like that kind of
Yeah.
weird shit. Like these, which actually that's kind of an interesting concept, but.
So instead of just
instead of,
like throwing, instead of just throwing your heroes at
That
villains,
ride bikes.
yeah, ride bikes. Go have a chili dog. Have them connect with other characters in your story. Don't just
Yeah.
create a character to kill them off in the same issue. Like make
So-
these-
What
make these
about
characters
like
last.
so something that they have done if they have or they're implementing more of the slice of life like aspect of this stuff, which I like, but
I
at the
do like
same
some of
time,
that.
is that becoming overdone?
Maybe in the mainstream, some of the stuff, like I don't really care what Daredevil. Well, I don't care what Spider-Man's slice of life or Superman's slice of life. Maybe a hair, but I don't care about. Mostly, I don't care about it.
Well, it's not going to take over the full book, but you need those moments of intimacy.
But like
with your
Robin is
characters.
all slice of life. It's like the new Robin shit's like maybe not the Butt comic, but the new Robin Butt book.
Right.
That's not slice of life. That's just weird. We've got the Harley Quinn fart book. We've got the Robin Butt book. Those are weird. Those aren't slice of life anymore.
Like I see a lot of dystopian settings take place in books right now.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
instead of just moving from scenario to scenario, from city to city, have a moment of just like cooking up the last rations of chili and just like letting out some steam, letting out some frustrations over a campfire, like
Letting out some farts.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Like if you're in a zombie apocalypse, it's not always about fighting zombies. It's not always about fighting your fellow humans.
No, that was the whole thing. with
Sometimes
Walking
Exactly.
Dead.
Sometimes it's about finding a damn squirrel because you're fucking starving
Yeah.
and you need a squirrel to eat or something. You know what I mean? Like, where am I gonna pitch
That was,
a tent
that was the
tonight?
whole idea behind Walking Dead. Was the zombies weren't the main focus, even though it's the Walking Dead. It was how society was going to change in this drastic altering of their reality.
But
And-
even in this world, when you have this craziness and happening, you have moments where the two sisters are in the boat talking about their dad and how the dad taught them each how to fish differently because he was trying to, approach fishing for each of their needs. Like this one is this kind, so she needs this lesson. This daughter's this way, so I'm going to teach her how to fish this way because they. And it works for that has nothing to do with zombies or apocalypse or anything. That's a moment that helps you throughout. Actually, it had like a lot to do with that episode and
So
teaching people different lessons.
You're telling people basically to like write The Road, the comic.
Yeah, or maybe a musical of
No.
something you've heard
No.
of in comic book
No
format.
musicals.
And it's amazing because it's so weird. Pitter patter. Go get your copy today. It's available
fuck
in
outta here.
demand on Indiegogo. Pitter patter. Go get your copy. It'll be shipped to you within a week or
I'm
two.
about to kick them off of the panel right now.
I'm still waiting for the Peter musical version of it.
Yeah, right.
Me
That's gonna take a minute because it's not an easy thing to pull off.
Just get the drag cast of the new Golden Girls theater. I personally don't like how parents are always dead in comics. I agree.
Dude,
It's
not
a
just
trope.
God, like
one.
that's
Kids.
every Disney movie.
That's a
Yeah,
trope.
Disney's a big deal. Did they do that a lot? Comic books, why is it always like that? That's a good point to be made here. Parents or father figures like Ben, Uncle Ben, or
They explain it perfectly in the Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse because everybody's father or uncle dies, and yet Miles Morales is trying to save his parents along with Gwen trying to save her father from dying because that is supposed to be the trajectory into the superhero gig. And he's saying, no, I'm going to
but
do
why
my
does
own
it
thing.
always have to be the parents and not like, oh, my friend OD'd, and therefore I'm like I have a vendetta against like drugs or something, or I saw a traumatic event and it
Yeah.
caused me to be moved. It wasn't a personal thing, but it was enough for me to like want to fight to not let that happen. You know what I mean?
Well,
Every hero
Invincible had
needs a
both his
trauma.
parents.
So what I've seen personally is that every hero that has trauma does not turn hero right away. They turn into vigilante looking for vengeance,
Superman.
revenge, and then
I guess even when he was in high school, even Superman had his moment where he's like blasts through somebody on the football field, and they're like, "No." I think they said, "With great power comes great responsibility." I think that was a Superman.
That was Spider-Man. Amazing Fantasy.
No, I'm pretty sure they did that in Superman.
Amazing Fantasy number 15.
It's the same
has been
thing.
A big topic of conversation recently. And that came from that. That's actually a
got
really
Uncle Donald and no parents. Donald has Uncle Scrooge and no parents.
Now, hold on. That is a good point because Huey, Dewey, and Louie, their Uncle Donald, take care of them so that they can go to their Uncle Scrooge.
God, they had a traumatic childhood.
Yeah.
Where are their fucking
Donald
parents?
was there.
Well, they're
And
dead.
who's the girl?
Dead, I
Is the
guess.
girl's their cousin or something? Like who is she?
Probably. Yeah.
Because there was a girl duck that the fantastic ratio. You can have a girl if there's at least 3 boys, and so you had the 3 boys and the 1 girl. Is she their cousin or their neighbor or their friend or? Who
So
the
does
hell
that
is she?
mean Donald and Scrooge are brothers?
Also, Darkwing Duck was a member of that family as well. So they're like 3 deadbeat brothers, and their deadbeat brother died, and now they all have to take care of the boys. Like
It's like the Disney version of 3 Men and a Baby, except that it's 3 men and 3 babies.
and where are their fathers? Like Darkwing Duck, Donald, and Scrooge. Their father must have been fucking fucked up in the head because they all came out fucked.
2.5 ducks.
Are we going to discuss Goofy and Pluto here?
Well, no,
We're having that conversation.
I mean, there's just some things you don't talk about.
Because you don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in 2025 now. We're just gonna let
Yeah.
that one go.
Yeah. So along with making your characters more intimate in the books, not necessarily intimate relationships, but like just like that personable moment to make it click to where like, all right, this is a character I can get invested in rather than just a whole bunch of action being thrown at you. Reaching
Pluto's
out
retarded.
to other creators and turning that and trying to get more readers into the circuit is something that I've come across as being necessary.
Yeah.
And so I decided for this channel, we're going to do a little something like that on Fridays. We're going to do 2 Fridays every month.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be doing an open mic night.
Yeah.
This
I
is
like
very
this idea. This is cool.
is
Yeah,
very
me too.
reminiscent of what Peter Samedi used to do. He like stops doing it for a couple months at a time, but he used to do it every month back in the day. But he would have open mic night and have different creators of whatever, music, books, comics, whatever, what have you. and just let you promote your stuff for about 5 minutes. Talk about it, see where people can find you, what your stuff about. And then after the bell dings, you're done and it's on to the next creator. And I want to see more of that. And so we're going to be doing that here 2 Fridays. Starting tomorrow night, I think we're going to have the first one.
And it's good to note that it's not just going to be like you got 5 minutes to pitch your thing and then boom, you're out. We're going to be talking about it, kind of like we do when we're looking at campaigns and stuff. We're going to be like asking the same questions that we would when we look at campaigns. Only this time, you're going to be there to answer the questions that we have when we, ask those questions.
Open mic with Grok.
Grok might be involved.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should bring Grok in on this. I like that.
Grok's got to have an opinion.
But you know what? We should ask Grok if Grok is cool with that.
I was a little hesitant to do this, but so I went to the Facebook groups that I'm part of for comic creators, and I posted this in every Facebook group that I'm in. And I actually had quite a few responses where people want to be part of it and come and talk about their stuff. So I think we're going to implement it, and I don't know if it'll pick up, but we're going to do it for a couple months, see where it goes. And I just want to see what else is out there. Not only can we help out others, it allows me to see what's actually out there instead of me having to go find it. People can actually come here, and we can just add it up on the in the chat and just post the links there for everybody. And also get to know some of these creators, because some of them seem very charismatic, very upbeat, and just all around good people.
When we were looking at Polar Destroyer, that was a really fun one that we got excited about, and that would have been cool to have those guys on the show talking about it. The other one that what was the other one that we were looking at that had all the different books that we were like at first confused about?
Bolt Action.
Bolt Action
Comics.
If we had that guy on explaining all those questions that we had, because there's a lot of questions.
Oh, yeah.
He did answer some of them eventually, but then we were like, dude, I'm super excited about all these books all of a sudden. And then I didn't even know that book existed until we were just kind of scrolling through to see what was going on. I don't see him on any of these channels. So we need more of this, like everybody. And if you have a channel, by the way, you should be doing something similar where you're bringing people on.
No doubt. Remember when Fizz would always show up for Samedi's open mic night and destroy Pete's ears with feet? I remember Fizz, and we try not to talk about him anymore. I'm glad that died out.
Is Fizz like Danny?
Much worse. He had a comic book out, and he had a lot of things going on with younger children that we're not going to get into, and just one of those kinds that you just don't want to associate with. So I'm glad that fizzled out. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, dad jokes. We got him.
We don't, General Piggy, whatever his comic's name was.
I don't remember, and I'm glad I don't.
We don't really need to remember that.
There was something about a clown and a amusement park.
Oh, Mo Big says Goofanoid.
Mo, why'd you have to remind me?
Oh, yeah, Goofanoid. I remember that.
God almighty.
Not really. I kind of remember that title, but I never looked at that book.
Elliot's going to try and have more creators on his channel, too. Good. We need to do it.
You should bring us on your channel, and we should bring you on these channels.
Peter just wants to take Gronk and like just completely destroy an hour of your channel.
Right?
Yeah, dude, I'll do it. If you need an hour to kill on your channel, I'll bring up Grok. I got this buddy of mine. His name's Grok.
Poor piggy. Yeah, I backed and it didn't fun, and then I found out all that other shit. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
I'm waiting for Roken. That's one that I still have hopes for that I know I'm never going to get, but I want it so bad that I still believe in 10 years I might get Roken. Not Groken, Roken.
Yeah,
you remember that book?
Roken or Groken?
Roken.
I remember Roken.
Yeah, that's the one I'm still excited about that I know I'm not going to get. That guy got called out on being late on his book, and he's got all these excuses and reasons, and okay, that's cool, man. But That book looks so freaking awesome. I still have high hopes that I'm going to get that book someday.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about what was it?
Elliot's saying the same thing. He's like, I believe too, man. Roken looks
Thomas
great.
Thomas Strange, Wizard for Hire, or Dr. Moira, Wizard for Consent, something like that. Thomas Moira, my bad. Thomas Moira, not Thomas Strange or Dr. Moira, my bad.
Mo Biggs also backed Roken. I mean, it was cheap backed. It was like $8. He didn't even charge shipping. And that's where I'm like, this is never going to happen. I know it's never going to happen, but I wish. I'll even spot another $10, dude, for the shipping if he needs it, just because I want that book so bad.
But yeah, open mic 2 Fridays out of every month. I think it's a good idea. Hope it pans out. But it's for the longest time I was told I need to get on my own channel, back in 2021, 22, when B-Rose allowed me to be on his channel with him in Phoenix. And, I was always grateful for that. And then when I fell off because I had my first child, I kind of like dipped out. And then when I did that, I was gone for like 4 months until Dojo asked me to come on his show. And that's where I met Peter. And then we hit it off talking in the green room after everybody left. And came up with this idea of just doing our 2 channels together. And I've had the most fun out of it in the longest time. And I just want to meet more people and connect more people that way while learning about their product.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. Like, I was trying to get in,
same here,
do some stuff, but my channel was like, man, it wasn't doing great. Dojo asked me to come on his channel and have debates, and I was like, all right, whatever. I'll meet a bunch of creators. I'll get out there and meet some people, and I have met a lot of cool people on that channel. And then we're like, we need to start building our own channels. We need to start doing this thing and meeting and bringing on these creators and making it exciting. Because the one problem that almost everybody has when it comes to talking about all this is making it exciting and fun.
Most definitely.
When you listen to somebody who's not necessarily the greatest at talking and selling their product to someone, go on for an hour about nobody understands what they're talking about. There's got to be a way. Like that's where we come in. We're like, dude, your book looks freaking awesome. Here's what I want to know about this book because I see this character and he's got these goggles and those goggles look weird. What do the goggles do? I need to know all this information. Your story looks cool. Give me these points that I need to know. And we got to be excited and get everybody like stoked about this thing. That's like a lacking thing. That's something that's lacking with all these channels that bring on creators. A lot of time creators, they're not the best salesmen. You know what I mean? They don't know how to hype. They're not the best hype men.
I usually avoid getting burned by books that aren't going to come out, but Roken got me, and that one written by the dude who uses the Velociraptor and had Exvius as his artist, and then they split up. Exvius is a great artist.
Yeah, dude. It's one of those books that, like, hey, what's up, Edwin?
What up, Edwin?
He's got a badass book. That's Ace, right?
He's got the Ace 3.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Roken is just one of those books that I know I'm never gonna get, but I'm like, whatever. I have hope. I want to get Roken so bad because it looks cool. It's like heavy metal. It looks like a heavy metal magazine, but in comic book. That's like you can tell they put a lot of effort into just the campaign itself. I would hope that they could fulfill it eventually. So I'll just sit on it. It's only $8. If I need to put more in for shipping or whatever, I'll be happy to do that just to get that book.
And I would like to hit up an Artist Alley, hopefully this year. It'd definitely be by the end of the year because I want to get this 3rd book that I'm working on out.
Dude, what if we went up done comic book conventions, hitting up Artist Alley, and bringing in all these people? Like, okay, I had Ferryman or whatever. Don't pay the Ferryman books.
Yeah.
They're not Comicsgate. They're not in our arena. They're not even like they're aware of us, but they're not in our area, right? But what if we went out and met these people and then brought them in and showed them what we're really about, right?
Yeah.
like, I don't know what you heard, but we're actually a bunch of badass people over here who love comics, and we want you to talk about your comic. Like,
Just
that'd
go
be
in there and just
awesome.
be excited about it in general.
No shit.
Yeah, where do you find all these guys, like all these comics that you can bring into the circle, right? That's what we need to do. And then spread it like a virus that spreads across the planet. You need to like infect everyone in the world and get them with the comic book virus.
There was this
fun.
comic book team when we went to Dragon Con one year, and their name's Unshaven Comics. If you don't know who they are, they're up on Facebook. But they came out with this book called, what was it, Space Knots or Argonauts, something to that degree. And it was basically Voltron, but the team was led by an old sage monkey, and their emblem was the Black Lantern emblem. You know, the Black Lanterns from Blackest Night for the Green Lantern stories. And I noticed that, and I looked at it, and I went through it. It was the painterly art that I like, watercolor and everything like that. It was a beautiful book. It was fun. But just talking to those guys about and how enthusiastic they were about their product, I bought that book for like $25. It was about
Was that the
120.
time travelers? What was that? What's the other word for time traveler? The Chronicle Knots or something? The Chrononauts?
Right.
Was
Yeah,
that
I
the
know
book
what
you're
you're
talking
talking
about? I do remember a book that was like the Chrononauts or something. Actually, Elliot, yes.
Dude, hey, Peter, that's not a bad idea, dude, running some of that stuff through Grok.
No. I don't want Grok to steal my ideas and become
He
a
does
billionaire.
have an idea, though, and I can't wait for it to produce.
Yeah, he's got
Actually-
a solid concept for one.
And I had a breakthrough as soon as I got from being out in the country for a week
Sweet.
with all this time to think. I'm like answering questions that I've had for my story that are like problems. I had a breakthrough, and I think I'll be moving forward much faster than this past
Excellent.
year because this solution that I had in my head, it answers a lot of the problems that I was having with my script. And so,
I get you.
and it's actually going to
Good, good,
expand. It'll expand it even more, so that you can have more. I have the story
Yes.
here. I have the story here, and I have like a bunch of stuff that all ties together. And instead of having it try to mesh in one book, I'm gonna piece it out and have everybody have their own little piece of this story. And so everything that I'm going to be producing is all going to kind of tie together. And it's going to be amazing, dude. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. That is the number one thing that I'm going to do with my books. They will be fun. They will be awesome.
Forward
no
by
Log
Grok.
like rock.
And okay, I might get a prologue. I might get like is that what it's called? The prologue where the you get somebody to like write their thoughts on your book. I might have Grok do that. But I'm not going to have him write shit for
Yeah,
me.
Ben.
Fuck that.
They're called the Samurnauts. It was really cool. It was like Power Rangers and Voltron and stuff like that. It was really cool. I enjoyed it.
I was thinking
was fun.
Chrononauts, and thinking about it, I want to say that was Art T. Bear that had the Chrononauts, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Wasn't that his book, the Chrononauts, or the? Oh my god, dude! Was it the Chrononauts? They were like astronauts, but they traveled through time, and I want to say that was Art T. Bear's book, and it had to do with traveling through time travel, but they were astronauts, but they traveled through time instead. And I want to say they were the Chrononauts, if I'm not wrong. I don't know. Does anybody, Elliot, Ben, Mo Biggs, y'all know this, what I'm talking about here? I'm pretty sure that was an RT Bear book a few years back. Something he had done before, and he was going to bring it back. Because it sounded really cool, and I didn't back it if he did have that book.
See, I thought his name was Art Thabert.
Arthur Thibert is his name.
Okay.
But he's Art T. Bear. That's what it is.
You're thinking Chrono Mechanics.
Chrono Mechanics. Yes, that's the one. Chrono Mechanics.
He's just in too many chats not to know this shit.
Yeah, Chrono Mechanics. And it took me a second to remember who had that idea and what book, because it's been a few years since he's talked about it. He's been doing black and white for a minute. Chrono Mechanics. Oh, you're right. Chrononauts was Mark Millar. So there was like, okay, I have a lot of shit going on up in here, and I'm like,
See,
it's all
who
getting
needs
mixed
grok
about.
when you have Mo?
Right? No shit. There it is. Okay,
Putting
I was
Grok
thinking.
to task.
First of all, I was thinking of Chrono Mechanics, and that sounded like a really cool concept that Art T Bear was talking about that I didn't back because back then I wasn't backing everything. I was only back. I mean, I've always only backed a few things that I can afford, but yeah, that and then Chrononauts, the Mark Millar book was another one that looked kind of interesting. How does Image fit into the indie sphere? Does Image Comics, is that still indie sphere or is that mainstream?
I would say anything that has a house like that is not indie. I would say they're mainstream because they have the big names like Ninja Turtles, Transformers.
Yeah, and they've been around for like since the 90s.
Right.
Yeah, but they got books from new creators like Seven to Eternity is not a new creator, but Seven to Eternity was a really good series, at least as far as I've read so far.
Me personally, indies are only like the smaller creators that aren't under a publishing house. To me, that's what indies are.
But, I would fall under the same belief on that.
I agree, but there's a gray area there. Image used to be an indie book, company.
Right.
The same with would you say Malibu House is an indie creator? Because a lot of those were pre-Image. Before they were Image, they were published through Malibu.
But it was small enough to where they were like not necessarily known. Like they didn't have any big IPs that what I can come up with off the top of my head.
Not to mention, some of those guys, they can grow. They can be a smaller. Maybe Image was indie, back in 1992. Yeah. And they have since grown.
The problem with like IDW and them is that they just license IPs and then make books off of pre-existing
which is why
IPs.
they become stagnant and they're trying to sell.
What about Dark Horse? Dark Horse was fairly indie, even though it's a fairly big name, and they used to have Alien versus Predator, and
they're like a sublet of DC Comics, though. I don't really.
Dude, Dark Horse Comics Presents is one of the best series. Like the first, all the way up until when they got into Alien versus Predator stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That artist, the artwork, everything from Alien vs. Predator and the Dark Horse Comics Presents had a lot of stories like this. But when they were putting out stuff in that, and it's like an anthology, right? Like they're testing some ideas. They did my favorite being Alien vs. Predator, and I've got the comics over here. I don't have the Dark Horse versions. I would love it. But the artwork is amazing. That led to the Predator comic book, which was freaking awesome. There's a lot of really badass Predator comics. We're all talking about like late 80s and 90s. I think late 80s and 90s, mostly 90s.
Like we said, Ben, like there's
was
gray
that indies
to it. To me, anything outside of mainstream is indie. The mainstream being Marvel and DC, but you can have mainstream properties like TMNT and Hellboy.
Yeah, well, I mean, but if TMNT was never owned, was it ever owned by Marvel, or it was Archie Comics they were their indie books?
Yeah, they weren't. What was the name? It wasn't Image. What was their house?
IDW. They had
they were bought by IDW. What were they?
Before that, indie. Archie had them for the Ninja Turtle Adventures.
Oh, Lock and Key. Yeah, I remember that show on Netflix. Wasn't justified for the book. They changed everything, but it was so good.
Well, Boom is kind of underground, but they have all these prime titles like
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. They had Adventure Time. They had Rick and Morty, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Mirage. Thank you. Thank you. TMNT
What about
was
Alterna?
Mirage.
What about Alterna Comics?
Alterna Comics.
Hey, gentlemen, my apologies.
Alterna.
I apologize for interrupting here. I'm afraid I've got to go. My battery is just about dead on here.
Oh, man. All right.
All right, man. It was fun. It was
Yep.
good seeing
Hey,
you.
I enjoyed it, man. Yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. I'm looking forward to seeing what you got tomorrow night, Jake, with open
yeah.
mic.
I hope enough
Oh,
people
yeah,
show up.
dude. I'll be there.
Hopefully
for
everybody
sure.
here in the chat will spread the news.
Yeah, and
Oh,
also
yeah,
chat,
man.
guys. Elliot, all you guys hanging out in there. D-Wag still there. You guys have a good night, man. Happy New Year. I'll catch you on the next one.
Check you later, Stanley.
Talk to you later.
Thanks for being here.
Later.
I was thinking of Valiant. Is Valiant and is mainstream or is that indie?
Valiant.
As soon as Stanley gets out of here, just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Valiant, because Valiant had some mainstream titles, but also that's like who bought in the '90s.
I agree. If
Valiant
a company is run by one dude, I'd say it probably qualifies as indie.
Yeah, that's true, but then Image in the '90s. Image is not the same as it was in the '90s. We can get that out there, but they do have a lot of titles I would consider indie titles because they're not ongoing stories. They're just like short runs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walking Dead was an indie title for a certain amount of time, but weren't they always Image?
Right.
And that was after Image was, I would consider an indie company until they really hit the, I don't know. They did hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Guess what you think
about indies? Well, if you think about something like heavy metal, they produce nothing but like independent stories, but they're still fairly big.
True, but have you seen anything from heavy metal come to fruition, like for the mainstream, like shows or movies?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
What about like 8-Ball? 8-Ball was that comic series. They had Art School Confidential.
Mm-hmm.
That movie. They had a movie come out.
Would you count the heavy metal like movies themselves?
The movies were actually iconic.
I don't think you can make those today.
Yeah, I would say those are iconic movies, like both of them. The first one in particular, but the fact they even made a second one, yeah, those are like iconic movies, like Fire and Ice. You know what I mean? Like those are those animated adult movies based purely off of comic book nerd lore and comic books and amazing movies. Those movies are fun to watch, as weird as they are.
And your favorite thing, orbs.
Yeah, I know. The green orb floating around. It's evil. It's like I've been saying, orbs are evil. And I learned it from heavy metal.
So we got two that we've capped on. If you're just now joining us, to help out with the new year 2025 is make it to where your comics actually have, character moments, intimate moments with other characters in the story. Don't make it just all action, trying to get to the action so quickly. Make it,
have some character development.
Character development, most definitely. But have those moments where you see your characters connecting with others in the book. That way you can see yourself connecting with those characters even more. It's always those intimate moments that you pick up on. Because if Spider-Man was all just action, if you didn't actually have those moments with Uncle Ben, Aunt May, Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, it would just be another Roadhouse. It wouldn't have the significant
Roadhouse
that it has. Yeah, I said it. And then no, we're not
intimate moments and goofanoids.
No.
But like, okay, here's an example that I would imagine you go out in the world, right? Let's say you go to the gas station, you go to a restaurant. You either watch people have human interactions or you have human interaction as a writer. And you're like, this was a unique kind of a weird interaction. You take that essence of that interaction and put it in your book as something that normal people can relate to, because nobody can relate to Superman except when he's awkward with Lois Lane, or when he's doing something, that we can relate to.
Sure.
And that actually builds his character in the sense of, I might not be a Superman, but I want to be as much like him as I can possibly be. And these are the moments that make it possible for me to go down the Superman road. You know what I mean? He had this awkward interaction with Lois Lane because even though he's Superman, he's still awkward around the girl that he's got a crush on or whatever. That's something that I can relate to. And if I can relate to that, then I can also then move down that Superman road and try and be as much like him as possible. I guess
there's a couple in the old Green Arrow run called the Longbow Hunters, right? And Oliver is in bed with Dinah, just talking like he wants to have kids, but Dinah does not, right? And there's that whole intimate moment of where you see where they are during that interaction, where Ollie's willing to give up the superhero thing, but Dinah's not ready to do that because she thinks what they do is too important. She doesn't want to bring another life into that kind of,
that situation. She didn't want to deal with that.
And also on that, like within that, in the question, there's a girl that he, hooks up with, and then it falls off after the series like reboots or whatever. But the girl comes back as a crack prostitute after whatever they had their differences and whatever came after. She ended up in that position, and he meets her and takes her in and gives her a cup of coffee and has that moment of like, what happened, what dropped off, what took place. And that kind of build for that character development takes place to where he can be more understanding towards those kinds of individuals when he's out doing his vigilante stuff. Like when you have those kind of character moments, it makes your character more human.
So Mo Big says Ollie was ready to empty his quiver, but Dinah was no bullseye. Now, if you when it comes to Lois Lane, she wasn't some super, hot chick either. Lois Lane wasn't the best catch, let's just say. She's a psychopath. It is kind of interesting that they have these women of heroes, right? These significant others, and they're all fucking crazy. Even Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Look at all the women of Spider-Man. They're all fucking crazy. In some Black Cat, Black Cat's actually the one I would go for, and that's a recent development because I'm all MJ, right? All my life, I'm like redheads. Yeah, let's go. But the Black Cat, I think, would have been a better choice. Because she actually genuinely cared about Peter Parker, I think. I don't know about Mary Jane. Mary Jane seemed kind of like wishy-washy throughout.
I think you just focused on the Kirsten Dunst version too long.
Maybe. That's possible. That's possible.
But no.
Mary Jane just she's more real, and she's more of an independent character on her own right, and that's why being more independent, you want somebody to be more submissive to your hero, and she's not. She's more of a character on her own, and so it's easy. But then you get like Black Cat. What's her the blonde girl? What's her name?
Gwen.
It's Gwen, right? That's Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, I was going to say Gwen Stefani, but yeah, Gwen Stacy.
Oh my
Gwen.
God.
So she's like independent, but she actually, it felt like she cared more like about Peter Parker than Mary Jane did.
Well, it's because the writers have fucked up Mary Jane.
That, and also she knew a lot more about Peter than Mary did until like way later.
Yeah.
I never even pieced that together. Black Cat and and like Gwen, Spider Gwen.
Yeah.
Spider Gwen is a good side piece that everybody like. I don't know, man. Spider Gwen or Black Cat, which is better? Because that's now kind of like put it all together in my head. Like I always knew the same. They're all the same, but Spider Gwen
is a good idea for a buddy cop film.
A younger version of Gwen,
but
like Black Cat's a way better. I would rather have Black Cat any day of the week.
Black Cat is just the same persona as Catwoman for Batman. It's
but with a better suit.
It's that same deal. You're trying. That's what makes that so interesting. And
maybe that's why she when she becomes Black Cat, her tits grow like 3 sizes. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. And she's like all like in love with Peter, right? In right. Spider-Man. So, well, Mary Jane is always considered like doing her own thing. Maybe it's because she doesn't know he's like Spider-Man at first, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's why I always like Gwen Stacy better.
But yeah, get those character moments that you can actually like see your hero or vigilante or even anti-hero kind of connect with and make him more human instead of just shipping him off onto the mission, and then getting more creators out there to try and come in and talk about their stuff and whatnot. Guess what else would you say that we need to do in this scene that you've seen on this show so far, because I don't think you've gone to any other channels yet, but what could you see that would help make 2025 better for this channel, but what others might come back and watch this? What do you think should be something that we need to focus on?
Well, I'm relatively new to the scene, so for me, it's hard for me to really say anything, but we've been, especially with us, we've been doing a really good job, like spreading out, doing different things, trying new ideas out, or even old ideas, like you were saying with Samedi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, trying to do that open mic night on Fridays now. And they'll only last about an hour, hour 15, depending on how many people come out. But
I got a question. I got a question for Grody here. Since you've been doing these streams, because this is like the brand new year, we're on day 2 of 2025,
right? And
since doing these streams and all that stuff, looking at all these comic books, like. Part of the thing we're doing is we're promoting indie comics. We're promoting the creation of comics and doing them right, doing a good job with them. What is something that you have been inspired by, or you're intrigued? Like, what are the things that you've seen so far that you're like, I like this, and what are the things that you're like, I'm not a fan of this, or vice? Like
even in aspects of things that we've done.
Well, the stuff that I like the level of entry and the different amount of people you got coming in, like the different perspectives you have coming in from different comics, coming in and doing stuff. Because that kind of makes me feel a little better about myself. It makes me think, hey, maybe I could do something like this.
You definitely could. I don't know why you're waiting.
And when it comes to the negatives, it's like something you kind of brought up earlier, was just like, we've got a Superman. We don't need more Superman.
Okay, yeah.
So tired of seeing rehashes of the same thing.
Okay, so we got Elliot saying here. I think new ideas
for cool segments, like the open mic night is a good idea. Questions with Grok is good. Segments that entertain. I'm going to try some stuff out on my channel also. That's good. We're trying to get things percolating. We want ideas. We want to see.
Yeah, it's all got to be entertaining, and it's all got to be fun.
Like, I like Ben's idea. He had that, the one where it's like he gets a bunch of artists together and they just draw on their channel.
Yeah.
Like, you can look at
the Don's draw stream also. And been telling Peter he needs to do that on his channel too, once in a while between the.
I do need to do some draw streams. It would be nice to have somebody on there to talk to, because talking and like to the camera and drawing is so fucking hard to do, man.
You know, we'd be there, but getting other artists in there like Ben, who does all the watercolors and the charcoals and stuff.
Hey, Elliot, if you ever want to jump on a live draw stream, Corey dude, Barton, let's do it.
Don, have him come over to your channel one time if you can't get to his. But
Yeah,
it's always
yeah.
about like making those connections take place. That's another thing, is being more connected and collaborating more often. Like, even if I can't like get money towards an artist, I want to promote them because I think their art is so good. Like, I want others to know them because even though I can't hire them right now, maybe somebody else can. Like Peter right now. Peter is an
Like me, I was
artist,
gonna say,
and-
it sounds like you're talking about me right now.
But we've seen Ben's art, we've seen his brother Justin's art in his Tricks and Treats volume, and it's so good. And
Yeah,
along
dude.
with Elliot with his piece that we just showed of the Ninja Turtles. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Ben, that book is impressive, and of all the stuff that we've looked at over the time, that one really did stand out. And I'm glad that you joined the chat, you jumped on the show, and you talked about it, because that is one of the ones that was really impressive to look at. Because you had like a variety. I love anthologies. I love the idea of you read a book and you've got a bunch of different ideas, perspectives, and art and everything. And so it's really cool. And then when the fact that we're talking about your book, a lot of people are very sensitive and they get very touchy when you mention anything. And so the fact that you stuck around and you're like, yeah, dude, I'll defend my book any day of the week. And you did. And Jake got the book and he's like, yeah, dude, this book's badass. That's awesome, man. You are solid. You're a solid creator. And I am actually looking forward to seeing you succeed and make more of these, because I want to read more of that. Elliot's over here. He's just said, I do draw streams in the morning. If you're available, okay, that's to me. And you're free to come on. The same for Ben and Corey. Dude, all right. I'm going to like keep an eye out for that, because I might be having some mornings free maybe the next week or two. My schedule is always kind of weird, but this new year, the first month, I might have some free time in the morning. So I'm gonna hit you up too, by the way. So I'll send you a link if I do like a draw stream. We could draw some weird random shit like Samus Aran or something.
Some monsters.
Yeah, dude, Samus Aran is badass. I love
Yeah.
Samus.
Like D-Wag, he's been wanting to get you and Jeremy together to try and do some drawing and some other
Yeah,
stuff.
dude, totally.
The Barton brothers, try and get them out of their little bubbles and get them over
We
here.
gotta get Ben. We gotta get Elliot. We gotta get everybody on a draw stream and do
There's so
something
many.
fun. And then sell them, put them on eBay, and see who can make more money. Like, you got these guys on Graybeards and stuff, and all these draw streams where they're just like, "Oh, look what I drew," but no. The real test isn't who did the best job during the live stream. The real test is who makes the most amount of money for their work in the end.
So that means that you'd have to go over to Red Valkyrie and join their auction to see how that goes.
Well, that too. But imagine if the Graybeards during a draw stream all put. Okay, let's go back before Graybeards. John Malin over on Talk and Draw, whatever that stupid channel, Smiller,
Yeah.
right? Imagine if he didn't have the chat voting for him during the chat, but if every one of those artists put their work on auction on eBay that night and see who made the most amount of money. I don't think the results would be very much different, but there'd be a lot more money involved because they would all be selling their work and would be happy. So instead of like yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Let's figure this out. We can like swap channels even if we wanted by the days. But instead of having like, oh, who did the best job by the end of the stream, it's like, no, the test is in who's gonna pay the most. You know what I'm saying? And that way everybody gets bids on their work and everybody at least makes some money off their work.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm gonna rig the system and set the bidding for my artwork way higher than it's worth. And that way, if anybody even wanted to bid on my work, they'd have to outbid everybody else's work.
There we go. You're an evil man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'm not sure. I may do one next week. If not then maybe the week after. I'll definitely send you a link when I do it. If you're free, come on by.
Yeah. All right. How about next week?
Hop on next week. Your channel or my channel? Because
And it doesn't have to be the morning. It could be evening, anytime. There's like got to be at least one day next week that you have the availability to do it. One of the things that I'm concerned with my channel is like, okay, I've been like out of touch lately because I've been out in the middle of nowhere with no signal. But when I am in touch, it's like if I'm not working at those moments, then it's just a matter of what time I have to do something in my free time. Which
well,
I've
that's
got
usually
time
why
all
we do
this
it
time.
around 8 p.m. because that's mostly when people die down and go to sleep, and us adults are still able to get a little bit of the energy out that we have left.
Oh, God.
So
Oh, I hear that, but you notice I got a little more energy after this break,
hell
and
yeah.
I don't have basketball and all these other like sports things I've been doing
Yeah.
lately, so
You're
I have a lot
glowing.
more. I'm glowing right now, like
Not even
literally glowing,
because of your lights, but you're glowing.
because I haven't been like running for 18 hours straight.
Let's see. And Peter, I think you're onto something. We could do a draw stream a few weeks before an auction, and then I'll get all in. Get them all in on the auction, see who sells for the most.
Yeah, that's where you find out who really won that draw contest. I'm down for that.
And you actually get paid.
And that's
But-
not like, oh, I know I'm gonna win this one. No, dude, Elliot's like a solid contender. Like I've got some issues when it comes to some of my rendering and stuff, and I'm like, he's like somebody that'd be like, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
put some extra effort, if I'm going up against Elliot.
You got to handicap him.
Not even. Yeah, maybe.
Oh man.
I might have to like put some kind of handicap to like give myself a boost.
It'd be
And
Grok
with
in there
those-
voting for you.
With those
Oh,
books
yeah, I'm gonna
coming
get
in and
Grok.
everything,
I gotta
we
get
need
Grok
to
to vote
make
for me.
we need to make books that can hit all audiences. Something because I get that we like making books where we can get like the most action and curse words and all that kind of stuff out there that we want to do, but we really need to make stuff that's, and I know it is kind of like a bad negative for some reason in this arena, but we need to make all aged comics.
I agree, but there's an audience that's going to be on the internet that we can actually target, like getting kids or people that all ages. The people with credit cards or people that are going to be able to afford to
Right.
buy the shit.
Well, look I look
Is
at
in
it
a
like
genre.
this. All ages to me is like the first Avengers
Hold up.
film. Endgame.
Keep talking.
Infinity
I'll be right
War,
back.
Civil War. I don't think that all ages necessarily means Rugrats or Real
Dogman.
Monsters or Darkwing Duck, okay? Because 1990 TMNT had some dark elements to it, but it was still kid related, even though the parents found it too violent. Well, some parents. My mom's not a bitch, and so there are those elements that you can hit on, because kids, in my opinion, kids still want to be scared, but we're too reverent to do so these days. You know what I mean?
So you want like a Goosebumps.
Yes, Goosebumps is a good idea, great idea. I loved Goosebumps growing up. Not necessarily Stephen King-esque, because I don't want a bunch of little kids having to have sex with the only female in the group to take on a clown alien. But just like Haunted Mask is like infamous for being so cool and yet so scary at the same time back in the day. And let's hang on.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dummy. We got all
Night of the
sorts of
Living
good shit.
Dummy. That's what I'm working on now. An all ages 13 and up book that doesn't talk down to kids and that adults can enjoy. Yes. Goosebumps was awesome. Awesome cover art.
Oh yeah.
Totally agree 100%.
But then how? And I agree. But how do you sell to kids? How do you get kids going, "Mommy,
that would
Daddy,
be-
I need this"?
That would be
Then-
where you have the product here in this arena, and then
Which is
that's
all
when you take
adults.
that to Artist Alley. Adults
Which
will
is
still.
also like young adults. Like if you're talking about all ages, I'm imagining the prime age for comic books is like third grade to like fifth grade, sixth grade.
You
Then
really
you
give
get
Marvel comics of the '80s to third graders?
uh maybe. Yeah.
Rest my case. You had to think on it. I rest my
Well,
case.
I'm thinking like X-Men. Yes, I'm thinking like when I got into comics was in third grade, and
Okay.
that would have been the Jim Lee X-Men, and then I got into Uncanny X-Men and everything else, and the cartoon and Spider-Man. Yes, Marvel Spider-Man comics, totally for third graders, all day and night. Like those Spider-Man comics were solid. They're great, especially when those like Spider-Man, Superman, or Spider-Man versus Batman, like those real fun Marvel DC crossovers are
I
real
like
great
that.
for kids.
You're not selling to kids so much as you're not making a book they are banned from reading.
Yeah, but here's the problem. If you might make a book that's great that any kids all ages can read, but if it's not marketed for adults specifically, which is the weird conundrum we're in right now, because we're talking to an audience of adults, right?
Sure.
And so they're the ones buying the books, and so you want to give them something they could buy. You're talking about, and I agree. There's a conundrum we got to figure out. You got to figure out how to sell a book to somebody to give to their kids.
What if you didn't present it as an all ages book, just a book that you made with really good art and action? Because I could totally see Battle Brick Road being all ages.
Sure, yeah. There's actually a couple of books. Norse Saga was
Norse
in
Saga,
Walmart. It
Base
was a great
Reeves,
book,
right? Totally agree, 100%. So it's not so
but
much as marketing them as all ages books. You just kind of like put that out there when you go to conventions. Be like, hey, I'm sure your kids would also like to read this. They could jump in on this too.
I don't know how you break this barrier. But when working in school districts,
Don't mention the barrier.
well, no. Here's what I'm saying. When working in the school districts and kids, you mentioned to kids a comic book, and this breaks my heart. They say Dogman, Captain Underpants,
I hate that.
and I'm like, okay, have you ever read like a real comic book? And I'm like talking fifth grade now, right? And so they're like, well, yeah, I've read Dogman, Captain Underpants. I've read some mangas, like some actually is like they're like, well, I read Chainsaw Man. I'm like, well, that's that's something, because that's not, I wouldn't put that in a fifth grader's hands, but whatever. Like, it makes its way. But then I show a comic book. Like, what's a good example? One with the holograms. Remember those hologram cards that Marvel would have. I would say Fatal Attractions, but that's not necessarily something I would bring to the kids per se. But like something with those holograms on it. Kids have never seen those laser holograms before.
Yeah.
But it used to be in our face growing up, like all the time, these holograms.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those Spider-Man covers.
Yeah, and so you're like, you want to bring like a Spider-Man book or something that's like a real comic with real artwork that looks like real, in the sense that this is awesome artwork, and you get super excited when you look at it. And on top it off, okay, now hold on, Ben, give me a second here, because I'm going to bring it back around. When they're talking about Dogman Captain Underpants as their reference for comic book reading, and we're talking, when I was a kid, I was finding comic books at Walmart, gas stations. It was in my face all the time, every place. And now comics are nowhere except comic shops. But then you have people saying, well, if I'm on comic shelves, I'm being exposed to the masses. That's not true, because only the same people that are going to crowdfunding are the same people going to comic shops. You don't have kids going to comic book shops.
Right.
In fact, I would say your best bet to get a kid to buy a comic book is in Dollar General or Ollie's or maybe Walmart, but even Walmart doesn't have the best comic book
Neither does
options.
Ollie's.
It's like Aldi's, dude. Aldi's or Dollar General, Dollar Tree. That's like, if you're really being realistic here, kids aren't scouring the internet to buy comic books. Like I was when I was a kid in grocery stores looking at all the comic books in the magazine section, right? That doesn't exist anymore. And since kids don't have access to like buying your books, just like we all had to convince mom and dad to buy us a comic book,
Right.
they have to convince their mom and dad to sign up for an Indiegogo or a Fund My Comic campaign, and then fund a book, and then wait 6 months to several years to buy a book. It's not. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes. If you could figure it out, if you could figure out how to do that. Mind you, X-Men were in Pizza Hut. I actually have a series of X-Men adventures that came from Pizza Hut. Figure out how to
Really?
pull that off. Yes, you don't remember those? Pizza Hut did a whole thing where they had the VHSs of X-Men. They had these. Oh, right here. I got one right here. These trading cards. This is one. Oh. Ah, damn it. Where's the. This is. Oh, hold on. Oh, there we go. This is the other one. This is from Pizza Hut. These are freaking awesome. Oh, there we go. Okay. These cards came from Pizza Hut. They came with VHSs from Pizza Hut. There's a way to pull this kind of thing off. I don't know how you get into Pizza Hut, to be honest, but there are places where if you want kids to pick up your book and get mom and dad to read them, then there are places you can put your book for kids to find. Comic book conventions is great, but most kids don't care. You want to talk about YouTube. You want to like get kids to watch a YouTube video. Not to say that we want them like watching our live streams where we're drinking and then be like, "Hey, mom, I was just watching this guy drink himself silly. He drank a half a bottle of whiskey and he was talking about a comic book and I want that book." No, that's not the scenario we're talking. There's a middle ground, maybe a TikTok or something, an Instagram. There's a way to like meet that middle ground where you're promoting your book. A kid's gonna see it. They're gonna want mom and dad to buy it, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay." Or if you can get into something like Walmart, or if you can get in, that's like if you want to try to hang on to the old school way of doing things. The modern way of doing things is 40 to 50-year-olds buying books off of Indiegogo because they're reclaiming their youth. And the new kids, they're just going to buy manga, and you give up on comic books.
Right.
And perpetuity of comics and generations.
Well, I guess on that note, I'm going to say that there is
now on another point here that I got to make for another 30 minutes. I'm just kidding.
God, Peter.
On that
Take the
note,
liquor from him.
Right, no kidding.
Mute my mic.
There is a comic that you can sign up for right now that is going to bring those age groups together. And that is Brother Kit Prospect, up on Indiegogo right now for the sign up page.
It looks pretty cool, man.
On New Year's Day. And what we're doing here is we're bringing back the Brer Rabbit stories, but we're breathing life into these old classic tales with a new look and new twists and turns for these beloved characters that Disney couldn't even do correct, and they had to shelve it and never mention it again. So,
who's the artist for this piece right here, by the way?
Oh, I think he's in the chat, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah, this
is one of the best pieces for your book that I've seen.
Yes, that is by Elliot Rodriguez. There you have Brother Kit, Brother Atlas, and Sister V. And as you can see, we are doing street level style common riders, not necessarily getting the powers where you know, it's not morphing time in this one, but you are definitely getting those colorful
It's like Double
suits.
Dragon.
You're getting those awesome weapons. Yeah, kind of like Double Dragons. And you can see that we have some pages ready to go. And we are working on this thing, and we are well on our way to getting this campaign going here in 2025. I also have a variant cover by the one and only Michael Fulcher. If you haven't seen him, he is on Instagram going by Flogan80, Flogan 80.
That's some cool artwork.
He does great art also. I got 2 great artists giving me 2 great covers. And then my interior artist is also going to be blowing your socks off. So that is Brother Kit Prospect, where we first start off with Brother Kit starting to join the Warren. But he wonders if he's only wanted there as a scapegoat for the already indoctrinated. And that is Brother Kit.
Hey, now to people who have read your other stuff, how does Brother Kit tie into the Cobalt universe?
Brother Kit does not necessarily tie into Cobalt. The Brother Kit, I would say, takes place 30 to 40 years ahead of where Cobalt is.
Okay.
So that's why it looks so much more vibrant, more colorful, and the weaponry looks more futuristic.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. It's like a Ben 10 would, from what I've seen, it's kind of like a mixture of Ben 10 and Teen Titans or something like that.
You could take Ben 10, Teen Titans, Power Rangers, all them good things that we grew up with that we want to share with our kids, but also still enjoy ourselves. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And there are some books when I'm like rambling on about how you get in front of kids and all that.
Yeah.
I have picked up some books that I shared with my kids and they loved, like Kit Carter, like Nora's Saga. You know, there are books that I have gotten that I'm like sharing with my kids. And that is the other avenue aside from all these mainstream avenues.
Yeah, and I have no doubt that we'll pick it up in this arena. We just have to not be afraid to do so.
Yeah, just make cool stuff, dude. Cool
Yeah,
books,
and
cool
this is
ideas.
fucking cool. I
Yeah,
love it.
man.
But yeah, guys, that's going to end the show for us now. I appreciate the chat hanging out with us here tonight. It's been fun. To my panel,
Yeah, dude.
thank you for joining. Welcome back to 2025.
2025, let's go.
We're going to fucking knock it out of the park this year. Let's go.